wasn't done talking.
Jessie Bardwell's boyfriend, Jason Lowe, is locked up, charged with Jessie's murder, even though cops haven't found her body. But evidence of foul play has left an incriminating odor of death in Jason's garage.
So it smells really bad in here.
You smell that, right? Yeah.
Her father, Gary Bardwell, lives in a state of dread.
In my heart, she was gone.
And as prosecutors dig into Jason's history, they uncover terror.
What's your boyfriend's name?
Jason. His name is Jason Lowe.
That trembling voice on this 911 call is Chrissy Chambers. She tells Crime Watch Daily the same story she told police. Her relationship with Jason was a nightmare of intimidation and violence.
He looked at me in my eyes and he said he was killing me.
It's all led to one brutal night of abuse when Jason flips and Chrissy says he turns murderous.
He really started pushing me, shoving me. He had me down on my back with all of his weight on top of me. Something kind of snapped in my head and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to stop this man, and I just blacked out.
Thankfully, Chrissy regains her senses just in time.
You were fighting for your life.
It really was.
And makes this frantic 911 call from a nearby convenience store.
Like, he tried to kill me. He pulled me down on the ground until I was unconscious.
So police asked you to rate how strong the grip he had on you was, from 1 to 10. What was your answer?
11.
This is not a joke. This is not someone's boyfriend beat out of his girl. This is not this. He just tried to kill me.
Even though Chrissy dropped the charges, she still lives with the fear.
I thought deep, deep in my heart that if he would have ever found out that I went through with charges, that he would have gotten out and he would have come back after me. I think he meant to kill me, and he messed up.
Now detectives wonder, did Jason snap again on Jessie Bardwell and kill her?
I don't know what you're talking about. I told you everything I know.
Jason's not talking to cops, but he is starting to formulate a story.
How you doing? Everything okay?
As well as to be expected.
All right.
Lowe doesn't know he's being recorded in jail, but he's about to make a shocking confession. He's talking to his buddy, Tommy Jordan. Jason and Jessie were house sitting for Jordan that weekend Jessie went missing, and it's there that he claims something terrible went down.
I said nothing happened at my house, correct?
I can't make that promise. I know.
Jason tells Tommy Jessie's death was a terrible, tragic accident. Jason would later claim he and Jessie were having sex in the shower when Jessie slipped and hit her head. Then he says they went to bed that night, but Jessie never woke up.
Like, I made a mistake. Like, it was an accident, and, you know, that's what I'm going to share. And I know what I'm guilty of. I'm guilty of criminal negligence. I mean, this is like literally like a split second, like, what I mean, but, you know, and like I said, I'm sorry, but I can't, there's nothing I could have done differently. I'm pretty confident in that.
Jason may think an accident is a solid defense, but his jailhouse admission gives the prosecutors all the evidence they need except for one thing, Jessie's body.
He places himself as being with Jessie at the time of her death.
With the jailhouse recording and Lowe's history of violence, the noose is tightening around Jason's neck, and he knows it. He could face life in prison, so Jason offers to cut a deal. He'll lead them to Jessie's body if they take a life sentence off the table.
Basically, he would show us where Jessie was. In exchange, they would limit his sentence to 50 years.
Prosecutors agree, and Lowe leads heavy-hearted investigators to a muddy field about 35 miles away in nearby Farmersville, Texas.
He told us it's about 250 yards down that fence line, and he was referring to Jessie when he said it.
It, not she?
No.
Not her body?
No emotion.
Not Jessie?
No.
At the edge of the tree line, beyond Jason's tire tracks still dug in the mud, police finally find Gary Bardwell's daughter, Jessie.
The chief came in. He said, Mr. Bardwell, Miss Bardwell, this is probably going to be the worst day of your life.
And she had been wrapped in a sheet, a bed sheet, and we were unable to see what she looked like at the scene. She was probably one of the worst cases I've ever seen as far as decomposition.
An autopsy shows Jessie's body is so decomposed it's impossible to determine exactly how she died. But authorities are certain of one thing: Jessie was murdered, and now her father is racked with guilt.
I don't know how much longer I can take this. If I would have just gone to Texas. I keep saying that over and over again. And people say, Gary, nothing would have changed. How do they know? I get pissed off when I see somebody happy. He took my world away.
At Jason's trial, it gets worse for Jessie's parents. They learn the terrible details of Jessie's final days and what her cold-hearted boyfriend Jason was doing in the hours after her death, trying to hook up with other women.
He was sending explicit photos of himself, nude photos of himself. Women were sending nude photos of themselves back to him. They were sexting, and all of this was happening while Jessie's body sat rotting in the back of Jason Lowe's Audi. I don't know how Gary was able to restrain himself from jumping over that bar and coming after Jason Lowe himself.
Maybe the most painful thing for Jessie's father, Gary Bardwell learns he was only a few feet away from his beautiful daughter when he went to Jason Lowe's apartment. Her body was still hidden in the back of Jason's car.
This was before he threw my daughter away like a piece of trash. She was in the car, in the garage, dead, when I was knocking on the door.
Jason once again offers his defense. It was an accident. Jason acting out the scenario in front of the jury.
Said they were in the shower, having sex. They lost their footing and fell, and Jessie hit her head. Him and his lawyer acting it out with chairs like, I said, this is so stupid.
Gary wants Jason Lowe to pay the ultimate price, but that won't happen. Remember, Jason Lowe cut a deal not to bring closure to Jessie's heartbroken family, but to save his own skin.
To make him look like a good person.
To make him look like a good person, to make him look like he was actually trying to help the police, that he wanted to bring some closure for Jessie's family, when in actuality it was just for Jason Lowe.
This time, it's the jury who shows no mercy. Jason Lowe is found guilty of Jessie Bardwell's murder. He's sentenced to the maximum allowed under the deal, 50 years in prison.
As far as I'm concerned, he's the devil. Jessie met pure evil.
Jessie Bardwell's family returns home to Mississippi that now seems so eerily quiet.
There's just a deafening silence in my life now.
Her father trying to remember the laughter and fill his daughter's bedroom with music with a song he wrote for Jessie.
There's a brand new break in my heart every day.
And Gary Bardwell says he's devoted the rest of his life to keeping Jessie's voice alive.
I'm doing this because I want people to keep Jessie's light shining. And if this show helps one girl get out of a situation that's toxic and dangerous, and it's done its job.
Lowe will be eligible for parole after serving half of that sentence, which started with his arrest in May 2016. At that time, he'll be 51 years old. I'm Chris Hansen. If you like this story, make sure you tune in every day to Crime Watch Daily. You can find where the show airs in your city at crimewatchdaily.com. Watch it live or record it on your DVR and watch it at night. And to all those criminals out there, remember, we are watching.